German fighter pilots laughed when they saw them. Bright red tails cutting through the European sky. An unusual sight. An unfamiliar squadron. They mocked them over the radio, called them inexperienced. An experiment doomed to fail. But by the end of the war, those same pilots would fear one thing above all else: American fighters with red tails. This is the story of the Tuskegee Airmen, the men who shattered prejudice and became some of the deadliest fighter pilots of World War II. In the early 1940s, America prepared for global war. Factories roared. Airfields expanded. The nation needed pilots badly, but not everyone was welcome. At the time, the U.S. military believed African Americans lacked the intelligence, discipline, and courage to fly combat aircraft. Official reports claimed they were unfit for aerial warfare. These claims weren't based on science. They were based on racism. And for decades, they went and challenged. Public pressure forced the government to act. In Alabama, the Army Air Forces created an experimental training program. Its location: Tuskegee Army Airfield. Its mission: prove or disprove whether black Americans could be combat pilots. Failure would end the program forever. Every cadet knew the truth. They weren't just flying for themselves, they were flying for an entire race. The standards were brutal. Tuskegee cadets were judged more harshly than white pilots. Old aircraft, limited resources, zero tolerance for mistakes. One error meant expulsion. Yet instead of breaking them, the pressure forged discipline, precision, and teamwork. In 1943, the Tuskegee Airmen arrived in Europe. Their primary role was escort duty, protecting American bombers flying deep into enemy territory. This was the most dangerous mission in the air war. German fighters hunted bombers relentlessly, and escort pilots were always the first targets. German pilots quickly noticed the red tails. They joked about them, laughed over the radio. To the Luftwaffe, these pilots were untested, unproven, easy prey. They believed the red tails would break and run. They were wrong. The Tuskegee Airmen fought differently. They didn't abandon bombers to chase kills. They stayed close. They stayed disciplined. Their rule was simple: never leave the bombers unprotected. When German fighters attacked, the red tails met them head-on. Dogfights erupted across the sky. One enemy aircraft after another fell in flames. The laughter stopped. By war's end, the Tuskegee Airmen had destroyed over 100 enemy aircraft. More importantly, the bombers they escorted returned home at extraordinary rates. German pilots began avoiding aircraft with red tails. What started as mockery became fear. The experiment was over. The results were undeniable. The Tuskegee Airmen didn't just win battles. They changed history. Their success helped desegregate the U.S. military. They proved skill has no color. Courage has no race. The pilots once mocked in the sky became legends of it.